everyone. So my name is Bruce Chen, and today we're gonna present our ICS final project regarding GUI and secure messaging. So now let my partner to give a briefly introduction and description of our project.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and first of all, we're gonna introduce secure messaging, part of our final project. So first of all, we use a random seed called Kendrick, which is completely random, and we also set up two functions, one called encrypt, which stands for encryption, and decrypt, which stands for decryption. And on the right, you can see how public key encryption works, which the whole process is the sender encrypts a message using a public key, and the message got sent to the recipient, and the recipient uses a private key to decrypt the message and actually to know what actually was what the message was before the encryption. And so you can see the encrypted text is completely different from the plain text. So it's more secure, and people can't really know what you're actually sending unless you have the decryption key. Um, and these two methods are basically two ways to use this method, both ways. So for the encrypt method, we use a for loop, and we check each method if each method is in the codebook. If not, then we move to the next one and add some index to it, and to see if any of the message is in the codebook. And for the decrypt function, it's the same analogy, which we use. We check each method in the list if it's in the codebook or not, and we return the decrypted or encrypted message if it is in the codebook. And yeah, and additionally, we created encryption and decryption buttons. So we created both buttons, uh, just like the send button. So these are the additional feature we added, and we set up the text size and the font size and the width, and the command. The most important part is command, in which we set up a lambda function, which is associated with the two functions on the right. You see the send button encrypted and print button encrypted method, in which these two methods just allows the button to work. Like these are the like the working ones, in which after you press, at first you use a method on the previous page, the encrypt and decrypt method, to actually check if the message is in the codebook, and then if it is in the codebook, then we can just send the encrypted method, the message, and then the message, delete the message after you hit send. So that's what the delete zero to end does, and the same for the decrypt button, in which we also use a lambda function associated with print button encrypted function, which essentially serves the same purpose as send button encrypted method. So um, not only do we have the secure messaging features, we also added some GUI features, in which we added some two buttons, the return button and escape button. Instead of just hitting send, we can also use the return button to actually send the message, instead of just always using the send button. So we can actually click on the keyboard and just click on return. And same for the escape button. We can just escape out of the chat system after we hit escape, instead of like typing a command into the chat box. And some other features is included, such as this one, the self.textcon.insert function, in which we specify the person who sends the message, so we don't get confused with who is sending the message to the other person. if it's like a multi-person client server. And lastly, we also include script creations. So it's a shortcut that also involves GUI, and basically it does change directory. So we set up the desired folder location we want, and we specify the directory, the folder name, and then we just basically redirect the folder to the where the file would locate. And we use Python 3 command to actually uh, locate the Python file. And this is how we create shortcuts. So instead of just typing in the terminal every time when we want to open the chat system and client, we actually just uh, click on these two scripts, and then it automatically just runs a server. And now we can move on to Bruce, my partner, part.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. And now I can share my screen. Okay, so like the Brandon said, we use a script to help us to immediately open the file, open the client server. Okay, so we first click the start server, and then we click the start client. So we got first register to log in and type Bruce. Okay, click continue, and click to open another client, and we set Brandon. We continue. So now we got two chat rooms, and if Bruce want to connect with Brandon, he type, and now like Brandon said, we don't need to use the send button to click on that. We can just click the keyboard to enter, and like I did, and then the connect successfully connected. And then like if I want to say to Brandon, like, Brandon, do you need a cup of coffee? And I use enter, and the message is sent. And Brandon saw the message. If Brandon see the message and he wants to say no thank you, but he want to send to me so secretly, and he can click the encrypt send, this button we add, and in his server he sees the no thank you, but in my server, in my client, I see this kind of encrypted message, and I don't know what it is. So if I want to know what it is, I can copy it and paste on my chat box, and I click that decrypt, and I got the message specifically on my client. And in Brandon's and any other one, maybe in the groups, they won't see my decrypt message. Yes, so that is our secure message. And if I want to disconnect with the groups, and basically I don't need to type anything in the text box. I only need to use the escape button. So like I did escape, and I quit it. So and all these options are our work, our result. Okay, thank you for the presentations. Thank you for listening to the presentations. Yeah.